change in your local area and why?
The environment, there's just loads of it on the floor, and the pollution of the factory, it hurts my lungs, damaging.
What do you like about your area and why?
Because it's where I grew up, so I've met everyone around there, my family live there, everything's there for me.
What would you change in your local area and why?
The crime, by doing youth clubs and stuff, so people won't hang around and cause trouble on the streets.
How do you feel about your area contribution to your personal identity?
It's where I grew up, so it's the language that I speak, my accent, the food that I eat and the people that I...
Bring us all down into a quagmire of mess. They're making, they're not giving us any jobs, blah blah blah. They're reaping off the rewards themselves, and it's not making it fair for you guys who are not going to get a job in the future once you've got your degrees, blah blah blah. I could go on forever about it. But look at Greece, man. I used to go to Greece every year, and look at it, it's down in the dumps now. If you ever get a chance to go to Greece, go. Forget the euro though, it's had it.
What do you like about your local area and why?
It's just a nice little area. It's the arty part of the town centre. It's still joined onto the city centre, but it's far enough away to not be in the mainstream with the rest of the shops.
How do you think this area will be in 100 years?
In 100 years' time, I'm unsure, because if you look at it 100 years ago, it's nothing like it is now. The streets are different, the pubs are different, the shops are different, you'd never recognise it.
Do you still think that it'll be artistic?
I hope so, just because this is where all the artist studios, the music studios are, and there's no other part of Birmingham that's like Digbeth.
Do you think the UK should be part of the EU?
Yeah, I think it should, just because of, well, from my point of view, to be a lot easier for me, just because all my products are imported from Europe. So from my point of view, to be a lot helpful for me.
People in the chamber, why do they quarrel about things like the shape of fruit, shape of food or the colour of food, when they can be sorting out more important matters like the matter of bankruptcy?
Yeah, well, first they do talk about economic and problems, not just that, but many other problems connected with transport, women's rights, equal rights for women, that is. They often discuss matters connected with education and schools, which of course would affect you. They talk about fisheries, they talk about agriculture, they talk about many things. The problem that exists in the United Kingdom is that a lot of the media, and particularly in newspapers, don't really like the EU. So they don't give very much coverage to the things which really do matter, and when silly things, which may only last for 2 or 3 minutes in the chamber, are brought up, they blow it up out of all proportion. There's never, ever been a debate about changing the shape of fruit or the colour of fruit or anything, or vegetables or whatever. It simply hasn't happened. But it was an invention by certain newspapers who were anti-European to get a bit of anti-European publicity. The big problem is a lot of people believe it, because what's the alternative? Where else do they go? If you don't speak French and you can't buy a French newspaper, where do you get your alternative information from?
The following letter to me from my constituent, Alan Sheath, who's from Walsall, illustrates the point. Dear Mr. Nattrass, on 7th of February 1992, Prime Minister John Major signed the Maastricht Treaty. Unbeknown to myself and the vast majority of British subjects, every person in the UK, including Her Majesty the Queen, became a European citizen by ratification. Neither I nor 60 million other British subjects were consulted or asked to vote. I do not want this citizenship, so please advise what measures they are in place to renounce this unrequired foreign citizenship, as I remain content with my British birthright. Mr. President, and I wave on the debate that the EU is forcing the UK to wreck its social security systems by opening the floodgates to Europe, and also being forced to abide by the rulings of the Court of Justice of the European Union. We do not want a foreign legal framework. So when can the British people have a democratic right on it, please?